And she's like, no, like,
look at my
be disrespectful. Look at my tits. And I was like, yeah. But it felt like a Medusa moment where I would turn to stone if I looked at him. I was like, these in front of me. And then each take, I did like 3 takes. She's like, you're not looking at them. I'm like, can I have a practice run where you're not looking at me?
Video live, click the link in the bio, get yours, come out and hang with the boys.
Yeah, once you get your own set, you're fucking locked in over here.
Well, yo, it's funny that, let me know when you're good, pass. We're good, yeah. So it's funny you say that because Alex Cooper came through the other day.
I saw it, yeah.
And she was very, you know, oh my God, I'm back, and everything was so great. I'm like, oh.
I saw some of the comments. They're pretty funny. It's like the college kid come back to senior year, like, what's up? Exactly. You guys miss me? What's
Exactly.
up? You guys still do this here? A podcast? Fucking poor idiots. I'm like, you do a podcast.
But she did say, we were getting her ready to do Answer the Internet, and she said, like, I will admit the one thing that used to bother me is you guys never gave me a fucking studio. And I was like, word.
Yeah.
We should have gave you a studio, man.
Looking back on it.
She was like, yeah, because like we have 2 studios now it's different, but at the time we had 2 dedicated studios, and then we had 2 studios where you could like take the logo off the wall and put another logo on, and people could rotate in. They had to schedule their time. But my podcast and Pardon My Take was the 2 ones that had dedicated rooms. And she was like, yeah, we like I should have my own room. And she said something like, yeah, like kick fucking Pardon My Take out. And I was like, nah, no. They probably would have stayed put. They probably should have kicked us out. They probably should have given Alex Cooper our studio.
Every week they should have looked at the ratings, and whover has the highest rating gets
that.
Yeah, get relegated.
It's fun. Like, oh, fuck, we bombed this week. We got to get Obama on next week. Get these numbers up, dude.
Yeah, at that time we had like a booker who was the worst booker in the history of the world.
Just for guests.
And but he'd be like, Obama's in town. Like you saying Obama reminded me of. He's like, Obama's in town. We'd be like,
dead straight. Like,
can we get him? Like, oh no.
But he is here.
No. If there's traffic getting to the office, that's why.
Dude, we emailed him once when we were in LA. We were in LA for I forget some reason. And we're like, yo, we're in LA. And we like at the time we didn't really do because it was our first.
Very
rare. It was not very good.
We went out there.
We didn't do too many guests, and we like sent an email like, yo, like, just I don't know if there's anyone out here who does like podcasts, and if there's like, someone out here like we'd love to like get on the show. And he's like, I know Kimmel's out there, and I know Ellen is out there.
Just saying names.
And I was like, yeah, I know what fucking late night shows are recorded out here, dude.
I can Google Hollywood if you want me to.
Yeah, you're actually giving a really small list for how many people live out here.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. The Stallones are out there. If they're not shooting, they might answer a text.
Oh, that guy sucked.
He was so bad.
It's so funny how
bad.
great or terrible people can be in the entertainment, like management side of things.
Yeah.
They're either like stars and they work and they crush it, or they're just delusional like that.
Yeah. It was he came in. I remember that first meeting where I was like, he did the first meeting. He dropped a name, and I was like,
oh, dude, name dropping and
Tony Hale, and I was like, whoa, this guy knows who Tony Hale is. Going to the top, and he never even got his Tony Hale.
No, that guy sucked.
Who was great, but
he we had a comedian on once who was saying some shit you can't say anymore, using words you can't use anymore, and
like by words you can't use anymore, we mean since the '60s.
like yeah, not even this new cancel culture word.
Like, would I know this comedian?
Probably, he's a big name. I forget his name now.
Old school,
old
school guy. He came in just ranting and. You know, old school, like Italian ranting hot.
He's like, what? So I just can't say the N-word anymore? He like said the N-word. Like, yeah,
pretty much. And then so we told our booker, we were like, bro, I mean, we can't air that. And then he goes to him, and he was like, yeah, the guys are afraid of you. Like, we're scared to run your show. So, of course, he goes on his shit. He's like, Barstool Sports is afraid of me and scared of freedom of speech and all this shit. And I was like, did you fucking tell him we're afraid? I mean, I'm not afraid of the guy. I just don't want him to say the fucking N-word on our show, man.
Yeah.
So that was one of our. He for sure fell in the way that other bucket of like completely delusional and don't know what the fuck he's doing. It's like, how did you even get here?
God,
you know?
do you guys have a lot of those guests where like within 2 minutes of them being on the show, you're like, oh no,
totally.
Well,
not that bad, but
not that.
But
bad.
we have guests where it's like, I know this is gonna be cool and fun, or like. they said 25 minutes. Let's make this 24 and a half. You know what I mean? Like,
gotcha.
Let's get this shit wrapped up. It's funny when people come through. I mean, you're podcasting yourself now too, so you know, like when a guest is like blah. I'm like, why are you here?
You hit us up to do it. We got a guy like that.
And
who
like, not
reached
funny
out.
is one thing. If you're just not like the funniest person in the world, okay. But when it's like one word answers and like that shit, I'm
But
like,
shoot it down. If you don't want to answer this question, great. But you'd be like, hey, I don't want to talk. But what about this? Give me like
Something.
give me some alts. We had a guy hit us up. He flew out to do it. Was a fan of the pod. Like was like, we want to do it. Followed up. We got him on, and just one word answers. And we'd ask him stuff, and he just like blah, just nothing. Would just would the complete opposite of yes and.
That doesn't make any sense. Like again, like you came here. Why do you want to be here?
I guess
like I'd rather be at lunch.
And it's like, I don't know if you know how viral clips work, but if I'm going to talk to you about your sex life, you better start talking. You better start coughing it up. Who are you fucking? I don't want to talk about that. It's called stiff sauce. You're going to talk about it.
I really always hate the yes, the booker reaches out. Will you do the interview? Yes, I will. Cool, great. Here's the time. But you're not allowed to talk about the one thing that people want to talk to you about. It's like,
what's funny,
that's the only thing that makes you interesting.
We were supposed to do something with Pete Davidson like a year and a half ago. And Michael and I are like, dude, this is fucking, this is massive.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was supposed to be a live festival in Canada. And we were like, yes, absolutely. And they're like, the only thing you can't talk about is anything with Kim or Ray J. And we're like, what? Because here's the thing. It's like, if it's just us in a controlled environment, I respect the fuck out of him. I would never do that. But like when you're in front of a live audience,
for sure,
and there's people just yelling out, talk about Kim's putt, it's hard to be like, what was that?
Oh, not that.
Kim's Bush. Yeah, she has great plants and gardens at her house. There was, but so we were
also, even in the controlled environment, it's like, I don't want to look like a fucking idiot. If you put on a show and you see this guy is here, it's like
the comments.
And I'm not. If I'm just like, so Pete, like, who's your favorite baseball team?
Yeah, the comments
and
would
the
be like,
rest of the headlines are like Pete Davidson and Kim. It's like, come on.
Now I
throw me a bone. Maybe let me ask the question and you give me a.
Or let him
answer, and then let me move on.
ease into it.
Okay, that's fair. Because I was gonna say I do understand the side of it. If sometimes it's like, it's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just that it's all I talk about.
Yes.
So like, whatever you're gonna ask me, I've answered. Whatever you're gonna say.
Yeah.
So like, I actually almost think that's a fair middle ground. Where like, let me ask it. You give your shit answer. We both know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But like,
I can
can't
say to my
pretend
fucking
it doesn't
fans.
exist.
Yeah, I would be able to find the segues. If he's like, dating's tough, and I'd be like, oh, do go on. Who is this person? But I can't just be like, what's your favorite Neapolitan ice cream? Who are you fucking? Is it Kim? What's going on? But that gig fell through. But like, man, we were so excited. But just like the thought, so nervous to be like, what do you talk to? I mean, there's so much talking about, but also like in the back of your mind, it's almost like when you try really hard not to like talk about one thing, you're gonna talk about that thing.
Totly.
Or you like catch yourself being like too
focused on it.
You talk like an AI robot and be like, you do comedy, Pete.
Don't say it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys both being like successful stand-ups? Do you like work on the podcast, or are you just like, you know what I mean? Like, do you worry about like, I gotta get my interview skills better? We gotta have better segments. We gotta like, or you just let it rip?
Just kind of let it rip.
Yeah, but we don't have another gig. We just let it rip, but we don't have.
You guys are touring? How's that going? Great.
We're wrapping up this last leg of the tour, and I think we're gonna put it on hold for a while because he's doing a sketch show now. We have daily radio. It's like.
There's a lot going on.
Dude, I never realized just how much you have to constantly promote to sell. And, like, when we're promoting all these other things and doing all these other things, it's like, those tickets, they weren't moving because you've only, like, posted about it, like, once this month, dude, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, like, more of a grind.
It sounds like you just want to do it right.
We're going to do it. We got to do it right. And we were doing it kind of half-assed. I also have recognized, we started doing it. We were never touring. I wish we committed to like doing it consistently earlier because we did live shows in like 2006, 15, and 16.
Yeah,
like, we were at the Wilbur in like 2015.
Holy
doing
shit!
This shit when like nobody was, and I think had we stuck with it, and we were the only show in town, and we grew and did it bigger and better.
Of course.
But we just kind of like,
well, we intentionally stopped.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we had Barstool's a very
told
weird
to-
place, but they were like, we make all the money. Like we wouldn't get any money. So like, well, it doesn't make any sense then.
We did a show at the Wilbur.
Like
it was
the
literally
door, the everything. Like, well, then it just doesn't really make sense for us to travel and do the show for not money.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that checks out. I would stop touring for that too.
Totally.
Yeah, I'll fucking work for Lizzo at this point. What is this bullshit?
It was 2015, 14. We did a show at the Wilbur. It sold out. We did 2 nights or 2 shows in one night.
2 shows in one night.
2 shows in one night.
That's great.
You know, I think it was like 75 grand, 100 grand, or whatever it was that night, like all in.
An astronomical figure to me at the time.
At the time, oh my god,
it's still a
It's
humongous.
still-
yeah,
it's still a lot of money.
At the time, I probably made $50,000 a year.
right. So we had split that 2-3 ways, whatever it was going to be like, oh my god, and we split.
And
it
what
0
happened?
ways.
Barstool was like, "Thank you," and you're like,
yeah,
"All right, brother."
yeah.
Like literally didn't
Yeah,
get
you got a blue
$1.
chew ad this week. Shut up.
Not even a
Didn't
fucking
get
penny.
brought up at contract negotiations. Like, you guys do shows, like maybe we'll do 70-30. Like it was just like we get all the money.
It was like we just
like-
paid for our salaries for the year tonight.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, the flip side is like Portnoy paid us salaries when there were years where I, you know, in the early years where I didn't bring in $1. So
Yeah.
you know, all in, maybe we were breaking even after that. But
And you guys are probably,
but
like you
also
said, you're
the-
just excited to be doing that. Like
Right.
that number to you at that point.
But it was
mind-blowing.
hard. Like, had
there-
we gotten paid, I think we would have been like, let's plan a whole tour, and we would have been the first and the
Well, yeah,
only
you
doing
find
it,
out what everybody
and-
else is making, and you're like, hold on,
Dude,
Yeah.
the same thing happened probably like 3 years ago. Where like, again, it was a touring thing came up, and we were on a Zoom call with like a couple of the other guys who like do like comedy podcast here, and they were like, "You want to do like a national theater tour?" And
like a variety hour, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we were like-
all the Barstool people would come out.
Yeah.
we were like, "Yeah, that
Oh,
sounds dope.
fuck, why don't
That's
you?
that
That'd be
sounds
sick.
fun." And
I'll tell you why.
someone else spoke
Without
up
why, yeah.
and was like, "So how much? Like, what cut do we get?" And they were like, "No, like."
Look, you can have like a fruit bowl, a couple zins back there.
Like they were like,
Whatever
they're
you
like,
need, man.
We thought you'd just do it for the brand, and honestly, gun to my head, push came to shove, I would have. I wasn't the person
Because
who
we're
spoke.
pussies, though.
I wasn't the person who spoke up, and like if they're like, you're doing that, I'd be like, fine, whatever. But like, I later started just thinking about it. I was like, do you understand what you're asking us to do is a national theater tour?
Yeah, travel
It's like,
and like
people who do
live
this
in grimy hotels,
make money and they're rich from it. It's not like their second job. That's their job and they're wealthy because of it. And you just want us to do it for free? That's crazy.
Yeah. So that made it tough. That made it tough. And then, but I did realize like you guys, both of you on stage, certainly your co-host has fucking energy through the
Yeah.
goddamn roof,
Yeah.
you know. And when I'm doing my show, it's not really my style. And so I go out, it's like, I don't run on stage like, what the fuck is up? Let's
you
go.
have to.
I know, and I'm terrible at it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it just is not maybe the best. And the thing was, when we were doing it kind of our style, it was okay because nobody else was really doing it. Now a lot of everybody else is doing it, and they're doing it with that energy and shit.
Yeah,
and it's
well,
like,
yeah, it makes the
oh, wait a
competition,
minute,
yeah.
this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
why we haven't really toured the podcast much. We just want to figure out what that format would look like because we don't want to do a lap and people are like, yeah, that was the thing. You know, I want to do
Yeah.
like, I mean, what like Girls Got Eaten, those girls do. It's like
It's a
insane. They get the local cheerleaders. I mean, people are getting fucked on stage.
Alex
How do I pay
Cooper
to be
told
that
me
guy?
that the guys, like the technicians or whatever on her show, were like, Alex, we worked on Broadway.
Holy shit.
And that Broadway shows that have less light directions than like your show, you know, it's a fully planned, you know. It looks like
Yeah,
she's
you know,
inside of a
people are
castle
spending
and
money.
stuff.
If they're spending money, they want a show, and I totally get that.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
like the last thing you want to do is like, how was the show? That was the thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went. I don't know if I'd go
Right.
again.
Well,
But like I would prefer and I would prefer someone leave my show and they're like, that was really funny.
Yes.
Right? Not like you should have seen the
Wow,
lighting and
Well,
yeah.
you lead with
There
funny.
was sword
and then
swallowers,
It's
there
like
was-
the other stuff is the cherry on top. It's like, dude, super funny. Also, like the set design
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
the super funny. The and you want the and too.
At times that stuff feels like we were talking about with fucking I forget who we were talking about with. But when it's like in action comedy and you're like you got to do the action movie to get the comedy made where it's like I wouldn't want a tour if that like if
that's what we had to do.
if the draw wasn't us
Right.
Yeah.
right if the
right.
draw was like you got to see
The firewall.
and but to be clear I'm not saying that's what happens with these people at all. I love Girls Gotta
Yeah.
Eat. I'm just saying like with us that to me would feel like
Disingenuous.
because it's not us.
Yeah.
It's not us.
That
right.
is the thing.
Well,
You
yeah,
guys do you.
it can't be just two guys riffing this shit, and then all of a sudden there's Chippendales in the background.
Yeah, yeah,
Are they
yeah.
on the show?
Right.
No, they're just back there.
We went to Philly once and we tried little gimmicks We had snowballs. We were throwing
Tough
snowballs
place
at
to
Santa.
test something out.
It was,
They'll
in
let you
hindsight,
know.
pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And they were actually a very courteous, like, crowd, all things considered.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they were like, "Great show," and we were like, "Did you really enjoy it?" And they were like, "Yeah, no, we do." Our fans are just happy to see us.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "But why don't you just do like your show rather than do a whole bunch of shit?"
Yeah, I mean, you tried it. You got to
gotta
try it to
figure
know
that
if
out.
it works or doesn't work.
Right.
I got a funny Philly story. My opener on the whole tour is guy Tony Casillas, diehard Dallas fan. Grew up in Dallas, and that rivalry is insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before he goes up, he goes, "I'm gonna see if I can get them to chant, 'Fuck the Eagles.'" I don't know a lot of things about sports, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, do what you got to do. All right, whatever. Yeah, just fucking bring me up after." And he goes up there, and he goes at the end of his set. He's like 2 minutes from bringing me up, and he goes, "Before you get out of here, I just want to say I'm a Dallas fan." The loudest boos I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He couldn't even get them to be like, "You guys should say, fuck the Eagles." They're booing him, and I'm like, "Dude, this is not the energy I want to come up
Yeah,
to."
fuck that.
Everyone's booing and booing, and he somehow pulls it out of his ass to be like, "No, but I'm jealous. You guys won a Super Bowl with the second string quarterback." He had his stats like on deck. Somehow flipped it to be like, I wish I was an Eagles fan. Go Birds! No, Trevor Wallace. What the? But
You got to roll on stage and go, "Fuck the Cowboys," and then
yeah, that's what I did.
That's got to be pretty easy to flip. No, when they're
Yes
so
and no,
anti one guy,
because it's so. I've never heard that many people boo that loud all at once in a condensed.
Yeah.
It was like an arena. It's kind of like it's just a circulating boo. This was a theater, which is people just packed in, just like fuck you, no idiot, dumb boo. And so I think immediately I was like, why would you try to bring that up? You're just fucking one more time for this dumbass. And then that got a big pop, but Jesus Christ, I mean, you forget it's Buffalo, and Buffalo. I said something about just football in general, and then the Bills Mafia. It's like a 2-minute chant. I'm just standing there like, can we wrap this up? No disrespect for your team. Let's go jump on some lunch tables. But what am I supposed to do here?
We're there on Sunday coming up, and somehow
Do they have a game on Sunday?
Yes.
Fuck.
At 4:00. The show's at like 7:30.
Okay, so you're still
So
good,
like,
but
not really. 0 people are gonna show up to that. It's sold out, but like when push comes to shove, they're gonna be like at the bar watching the game, doing whatever. They're gonna be like, I don't know, I bought tickets or whatever.
Yeah, but
or I don't know, maybe they'll be diehard and they'll show up and they'll be fucking hammered.
dude, it's some cities. It's the most random ones. It's like Jacksonville. You guys ever been there?
No.
Jacksonville, Florida. Everything they chant is Duval. You heard that?
Yeah.
Duval. I mean, and people were telling me about it. And I'm one show in Jacksonville, and I forget about it. Somebody told me this like a month later. And then there's like a moment of silence. What? Duval! And then everybody, I'm like, guys, what am I supposed to do to this? Just started handing out $5. Yes.
Also, like, as if you're not a sports guy, so you don't know any
But also,
of it, it's
yeah.
like, what the
But
fuck?
also, like, even if I was a sports guy, what am I supposed to be
Yeah,
like?
how do you manage that?
Go Chiefs! I don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's,
Dude, the new special is
Yeah,
very
Pterodactyl.
cool for a couple reasons. I love like some of the references in there to like fucking the SpongeBob character and and the Sims and little things that are like, it's the first time I started to see those kind of references to that generation and those things that, like, you know, like probably some older people wouldn't maybe know or get, and it's like, oh, this is like by someone from my generation for them, you know.
Yes,
I like
Fubu.
that. Yeah,
FUBU. God,
Trevor Wallace's new special is just like FUBU. Let's go with that headline.
I'm wearing Fat Farms in the special. That's the
I
whole
was thinking
thing.
about this the other day. The word "fat," I don't think was ever actually used. I can't think of a single-
PHAT?
Yeah, like it was out there, but I can't think of a rap lyric. I can't picture someone at the time on TV ever
I'm gonna
saying
tell you
that was
what.
fat.
I for sure said.
Use it.
How would you say it?
I wouldn't say I was a prolific user of it, but I have right now a very distinct memory of myself in Paco jeans opening my mom's Woody station wagon and saying to my friend that something is fat. I don't remember what it was that is fat, but like I could pick, I'm right in front of the elementary school.
Yo,
I
that's
can
And
picture
it
fat.
wasn't like, oh, it's a fat ass. It was like
That's the
fat
only
being like
thing I
cool.
can think of. Fat
Like cool,
ass
yeah.
is like, but even that. I mean, I remember Chris Tucker. He was like fat, PHAT, pretty hot and tempting in Rush Hour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that was like it. Like that's like
I was a big Rush Hour guy, so maybe that explains
maybe
it.
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think the special is just kind of be like, it's like, I think it's funny to all ages. I think you'll find it's kind of nice because it feels, you can find your moments. Oh, I relate to that. I don't know what that is, but it's funny.
Right.
And then when you do really get it, if you're within like 5 years above or 5 years below me,
it really hits.
It really hits. Like that Sims bit fucking crushes, because I think that my audience is very much in the same like age range as me. And I've done that Sims bit where murders. I've also done it where people are like, what is that? Oh, college gigs. I do a lot of college gigs. And I'll do the same set I did on there. That's when I felt old for the first time.
Too young.
I did the Sims thing. They're like, what is that? Sims? Like a SIM card? What are we talking about? And I'm just like, the worst is an act out that doesn't hit. Because you're like, I'm sitting like a fucking Sims character.
Not
all right. And, so, dude, that's like the first time I felt old. It's like a lot of my references. It's like a Go-Gurt or a baby bottle pop. It's just something in my head is so clear, and these kids are like, "What?"
That is tough. That was a huge part of Barstool's success or my success at least was like. Well, just references. It's funny because that clip in.
Well, the more specific a reference, the funnier it is. You know.
Yeah. And what's the movie? He's got the sickest references, bro.
This is the end.
This is the end. Yeah, but it kind of is funny. Like if you have good references that are like unlocks the memory. Oh, I forgot about that. Like that goes a long way in the nostalgia play. And
one of the jokes in the special, I compare my body to looking like a Go-Gurt.
Yeah,
and like. If you know a Go-Gurt, you're like, that's so much funnier than if you're like, I look like a string cheese. Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
It hits a nostalgia and a laugh. And that's like, you'll never get a bigger pop than that. Like, oh, fuck, I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah. I used to crush Go-Gurts. One of the gayest things about me.
But would you ever freeze them?
No.
That was a hidden thing you could do, which is...
on them?
Yeah,
now we're getting gay.
It's a little more
sucking on yogurt,
but you would freeze it and you could like chew on it.
Oh, that hurts me.
It's a weird. I don't like that memory of mine. But yeah, you could do it. But yeah, what a
frozen
great
yogurt,
invention.
Was it Duplay? Whatever it was called.
Yoplait. Yeah. The Twix yogurt, that was really the one for me.
The Twix yogurt?
Yeah, because my mom was like super healthy growing up. She wouldn't let me have any of this shit. So if I went to a friend's house, I'd fucking relapse.
Yeah, see, you would come relapse. You would come to my house and fucking relapse. I was the house that had the shit.
God damn it. My friend, it was always the divorced dads had the best shit too.
Dude.
Because they would run it up at...
Let me tell you
They would run it up at Costco.
It's fucking Hershey bars for breakfast at my house.
Is it really? Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean, I know Bert Kreischer's not divorced. Could be. I don't know. I love Leanne. I love Bert. But I went to his place, and it's that. His whole pantry is like Mr. Beast, like chocolate bars everywhere.
Bro, it wasn't even divorced dads. It was just like, if there was marital strife.
Yeah.
Bro, when I went to a buddy's house, like, I would see like his dad's clothes downstairs.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Oh, we get to do whatever the fuck we want here.
Dude, if they're smoking darts indoors, we're getting pizza rolls for dinner. It's a 1-for-1.
My daughter loves Hershey bars. My son loves mini muffins from Entenmann's, and so that's like their treat. Yeah. But also, I'll let Keegan eat the mini muffins as like a breakfast.
Yeah,
as like a muffin. And then Shay, my daughter, will be like, I want some Hershey bars. And I go, no, you can't have that. She's like, why not? He's having the muffins. So I said to her, I was like, the muffins are somewhat nutritious. And she ran to the fucking nanny saying, Dad says that chocolate muffins are nutritious. And my nanny was looking at me like, what
muffins?
the fuck? Yeah, no, it's the chocolate chip. And she was
They're
like,
somewhat nutritious. They also have carbs.
Balance, yeah.
Nanny thinks I'm giving him, like whiskey and sugar for breakfast.
My neighbor 2 doors down growing up, the dad would chew. Because I feel like with Zins, they're not spitting anything. Yeah. And I would say once a week, I'd watch him grab the wrong Dr. Pepper and take a sip and be like, oh, God damn it. Or like somebody else would take a sip of the dip spit.
My buddy's dad used to, there's actually one of the few houses I ever like spent time in growing up where like it was dad's chair. Like it was like the classic, like it was a recliner that had his aspirin
touch
in it.
Like,
no one else.
The leather's all crinkled up with asses. The amount of farts that have been in that thing.
And he would keep a 2-liter bottle empty by it, just like a spittoon. He'd pick it up. He wouldn't spit into it like a cowboy. But he'd pick it up, and it was just like he'd wait for it to get full, and then he'd like throw that away, just get a new fucking 2 liters of spit.
Vile, man.
Dude, my dad used to do this on camping trips, which is weird in hindsight now, but I get it. We'd all stay in one tent, right? And my dad would just pee in like an empty jar of like mayo. And he would just pee, and he called it the pee jar. And the next morning, like nobody would hear him peeing, but the next morning it'd just be on the ground, just be a jar full of piss.
Wait, camping? Why don't you just pee on the ground?
Because he didn't want to leave the tent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we're all in a tent, but like there'd be like a clear jar, like the size of a mail jar, empty at night, and then in the morning it'd just be full, just the pee jar.
Mayonnaise
and
and
then
piss.
when I got my own pee jar, I was like, I'm a fucking man. Yeah, my dad's like, you've earned it. I'm like, is that the Mott's applesauce jar, Dad? You said we're using that for quarters in the dirty mouth. It's fucking big.
Dude, I thought that I thought that your spit changed to brown when you were an adult because I'd
Chewing
ski,
tobacco?
I'd ski with my dad and his friends, and they all chewed. So like we'd be waiting in the lift line.
No
or we'd
shit.
And I would just see brown spit.
You're spitting
from
every
all
day
the-
when you're like 13?
All the like
that blood?
adults I grew
Bro,
up
the
with.
things that you think when you're a kid. Dude, the other day he thought a wife beater was because you beat the wife with the shirt. Like,
You know, I can see the A to B on that.
I didn't know a lot of Italians growing up.
Dude, there's a lot of shit that doesn't click in your head. We recently had this debate on our podcast. I thought 10 year was
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
And everyone's laughing at me. I don't like when everybody's laughing.
No, but
if 2 out of the 4 are laughing, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. But when everybody's like, you're a dumbass, I'm like, no. What's going on here? The 10-year shit got me.
but I can see that that is an A to B I get. Like,
Yeah.
because after 10 years, you know, would get that.
What is the term wife beater from?
Guys who wear that beat their wives.
Oh, it's not far then.
Well, it was specifically, there was like in the 19 whatevers, there was a guy who beat his wife and then like to death. And like the perp
no.
walk that he did, like the picture in the newspaper, he was wearing that. So it just got associated with that. But yeah, it was worse than
Yeah,
rat
it's tough
tails.
PR for Haynes.
That's what I said.
Dude,
It's
they're
a
called-
tank top, guys. It's called a fucking tank top.
They're actually called A shirts.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
A for Alpha? What does it
Like
stand for?
Athletic.
Really?
It's like, can I get an A shirt? It's like, what? It's like almost like starts like a who's on first bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A shirt,
I feel
a
like the
B-shirt.
tank tops are kind of like Pluto the planet. Like they keep kind of coming in and out of like relevancy.
Yeah.
Like now they're in.
They're
you wear
in.
a nice like open button shirt with the tank
Crazy.
under it. It's like this like
Crazy.
high play down play type thing.
Bro, we just had
crazy.
Matt Rife on. And
Yo, yeah. He's the guy
rocks
that'll
the
wear
whole-
I
those.
was talking about it because I yes, they are in. I
Yeah.
tried to,
There's nothing worse than
Yeah.
making a fashion risk.
and it was, dude. It looked fine because I did exactly like you're describing it. I wore it under like
Yeah.
a short sleeve button down in the summer, and it looked fine, just the top up here.
Yeah.
And I got home and I took that off, and it was because it stretches out throughout the day.
Yeah,
It
that's the
was-
shitty part.
it was
In the
just like-
beginning, it's fitting nice. It's like a wetsuit.
I saw myself
Yeah.
in the
I'm
mirror.
going
I was like,
scuba
what
diving.
the fuck?
And it
dude?
covers the parts you wouldn't want to see. Like, 'cause
Yeah,
if the,
yeah,
nips, the nips look a little weird when it's too tight, but with the jacket covers it up.
Yeah.
A tank top will get any guy being like, GQ might be calling me this year. So what, you wore it in the day and then it just
I got
slowly,
home at night and I just took like the shirt I had
It's all
over it
loose.
off, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I say like it looked like Vin Diesel now in Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
Like that's not what that shirt used to look like, Vin. That,
in the morning you look good, right?
yeah, right.
Well, you
right.
have this thing going on where you don't think you're a big person. Did you see the comment I sent to the group chat today? Did you see the comment
No.
on YouTube? It's so funny, dude. Feitelberg is like 6'2.5". Fucking how much do you weigh?
35.
I was gonna say 225, 235. Okay, and he's fucking like
a good Midwestern
big
man.
dude, right?
Where you from?
I'm from Massachusetts.
But
I'm
yeah,
fucking
but,
saying.
he does have the Midwest vibe, kind of, right? And he went. He said something the other day, like, I don't think I'm like a big guy. I'm like,
Well, I genuinely like when I'm walking around New York City, I'm not like whoa, everyone's small. Like,
So-
because I'm not. I think I'm a pretty average.
should
guy.
change your mindset
he's
to
just
that.
like brolic, you know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
he's like a barrel. And
But that's why a tank would work for you because it's like even buff guys just wear them or like stylish guys. You're kind of both.
It works for the first hour.
And
then
this guy, we just put out a video where we went bowling, which by the way people love. They're like, we want more of this. So, it said, fights moves like he's confused about why he's so enormous.
I genuinely don't think. I think I'm a.
You are a big person, a extra large
I
person.
have a small personality. Then.
And that's it. The other
There
thing
you
that
go.
came up on your podcast, this motherfucker
Oh, let's do it.
microwaves orange juice.
As a child,
Do we have some orange
You're
juice here?
staring at me like this is weird.
Well, sir, I've never heard it. It's been 35 years, and I've never heard it in my life.
How old you are on the watch?
I told him, I said,
Hair
listen,
past 34 years old.
I have been around a long time. I feel like I've seen almost everything.
Yeah.
Or heard of every, like, you put ketchup on your Pop-Tarts or whatever, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
I've seen it all, heard it all. I've never heard of
Listen,
someone
it was one of those things I said.
microwaving, not
regretted
just
it.
like the orange juice. No, microwaving it.
Yeah, it was like a lukewarm, like not like blistering hot, but like a soup that's been sitting out for 30.
I like that.
You know?
No.
That's how I like my soup.
It's a
That's
weird.
how I like my orange juice.
Now I
Listen,
can't.
I wasn't right.
I've been to diners where, like, I'm pretty confident it was in a pitcher that's sitting out for a while, and it's not cold, but
Don't knock
to
it till you try it.
intentionally heat it up
Dude, I don't know,
is the
man.
problem.
I mean, I also used to eat chapstick as a child. I'm not proud of it. My sister would have like chocolate or like pink.
Sure.
I know the kind
Flavor,
you're
whatever.
talking about.
Yeah,
You're
pink
right on
lemonade.
that.
That shit was my mom. There was a
That's
full
dangerous.
day where she had to sit me down and be like, "Stop eating this. Your sister's mad. It's not good for you." I'm like, "Well, don't make it fucking delicious. It's chocolate flavored
That
lip
is tough.
balm, and it's just a quick it's like a push pop." Yeah.
I have a rather bizarre relationship with orange juice as well, in the sense that I think I don't love it. I don't rush to drink it afterwards, but I have no problem with the taste after I brush my teeth. Like that, I feel like that's something people always are like. It's like drinking orange juice after you brush your teeth. Like that's fine to me. I don't care.
It doesn't taste different to you?
It tastes a little different, but like it's not like
Okay.
I'm not like I can't have my orange juice right. Not that I drink a ton of orange juice, but I'm not like I can't. Well, I brushed my teeth 10 minutes ago. I can't have orange juice.
Yeah, I haven't been in that situation in a while.
In a long time. Ski for some reason skiing's come up twice this podcast. It happens a lot skiing.
Skiing.
Yeah, because we go with my family and like my mom like makes breakfast.
Has a real
while
breakfast. It's if you have a real
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah.
And then you brush your teeth, yeah.
And I have no problem with that. It's never crossed my mind to microwave any liquid. I guess outside of a soup, any liquid without solids in it.
Hot chocolate? You ever make hot chocolate?
Yeah, I guess I've done that. I've never done that. My mom's done that for me when I was a kid.
Did you
but
ever do tea?
Tea.
Never.
lot of people put a
I don't
teapot on the
dislike
stove,
tea,
though.
but I don't.
But so
drink it.
you'll pour a cup.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
this was
anymore,
when I was like
but
7.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would just heat her up like a plastic cup.
I mean, I guess
put it
it's
in for
no
30
different than
seconds.
like when you're
No,
a kid,
it's
you drink
insane.
warm milk.
It's insane. I think that was my parallel thinking. I was like, all right, warm milk. What else can we put in that bitch? You know?
Yeah.
And I think it was orange juice. And for whatever reason, it's not good, but it's not bad. It's
We're gonna,
like-
Paps, can you send someone to get some orange juice? Yeah. We'll when we're done with this, we'll just do a quick video out in the kitchen of drinking microwaved orange
Yeah,
juice.
I would love to see the reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me want to fight thinking about it now. It was one of those, the second I said it and nobody's on board, it was like, oh, I was weird.
I love those misses. That's my version. When I hear comedians be like, sometimes I like to bomb and like soak in it and feel it, and I'm like, I cannot comprehend that. No fucking way. I do love when I'm like, I found something that I thought was relatable that is not at all. I'm kind of like, oh, fuck yeah. Nobody does this? Nobody? Holy shit.
You start pointing to the interns. No, you did that.
Yeah.
You didn't?
Because like the whole career of blogging is very like, you say Mario, not Mario. Let's fucking scream about it for 10 hours on the internet.
That is very true.
And I literally built a career off of it. And then when you find something that's like, nobody says
That was
this?
Australia. I was just
What?
out there. And they're like, what do you say? To me, they're like, I'll be like, oh, aluminum. They go, no, mate, it's aluminium.
Yeah.
It's the same word.
Yeah.
How they say tattoo blows my mind.
It's-
You ever heard Australians say tattoo? It's not tattoo, it's tattoo.
Tattoo. You don't hit the T.
You got tattoos. Called tattoos. Sounds like they're just deep throating those O's. Tattoos. But it's fascinating.
I used to think that was so dumb. Aluminium and
Advertisement.
Other words like that. But aluminium was the exact word he used in what I'm about to say. Where it kind of clicked. I was like, okay, never mind. He's got a point. It was John Oliver was on the Colbert Report or on Colbert show, and he says aluminium, and Colbert corrects him. It's aluminum. And John Oliver just goes, well, we invented the language, so we know how to say it. And I was like, that's a good point. That's what you got.
Not
Fair. It is English.
Not far you can go after that.
That was kind of a death blow. I was like, damn, he's right. We do say it wrong.
Kill
They say it
shot.
right.
Kill shot.
God, that's good.
I feel like you guys I put out, I don't know, like 8 or 9 or 10 podcasts with me and Markova. I feel like she's always on
No,
there.
we've done 2. I mean,
Really?
she's just so lovely.
She's when I think of stiff socks,
I think that's our
the guest.
biggest episode. She's
great. She's supposed to come every time she comes to New York. It's always like, we're gonna do the show, and then it just never materializes for whatever reason. But she's a hell of a podcast guest.
She's great, and she's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's one of those things where, kind of like the thing we're talking about with Pete, it's like you're very cognizant of what they do for a living, but you almost feel weird being like, so how many dicks have you
Totally.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I just feel like such a loser when I'm doing that. I'm like, so gangbangs, or are they like
I
chill,
know.
or
Right.
what? You know, I just feel like
yeah.
people are just
but
watching
at
me
the same time,
like,
they're very
what?
much like, it's
They
my work.
give-
So like, yeah, you want to
That
talk
is
about
true.
it? We can.
They
but,
get
you
very
know.
professional answers. You guys ever had Angela White on?
She's on this episode with you.
Yeah, with you. Angela White and
Angela, if you're
and-
listening,
and
I love
Phoenix
you.
Marie are together.
Angela, so great.
Yeah,
so nice.
I mean, she's like a great ambassador for the adult game.
She's
you know
so.
what I mean?
I mean, this
It's
is
like, she's smart. She's put
quick
together,
story about
she-
Angela. We did I did a promo. She's from Australia. I did a promo for Australia where it's me and her, and she goes, "You guys want to see what's down under?" And she goes like, "Flash the camera." And the end joke is she goes to flash me, and it like blinds me. And I was doing it, and she's like, "I feel like you're not looking at my tits." And I'm like, "Oh, you know, I just want to be respectful." And she's like, "No, like,
Look at my
be disrespectful. Look at my tits." And I was like, yeah, but it felt like if I do some more, I'd turn to stone if I looked at him. I was like, these in front of me, and then each take, I did like 3 takes. She's like, you're not looking at them. I'm like, can I have a practice run where you're not looking at me? It just was this funny moment that kids online who would be just like losing their mind, like, you got permission to look at those things. Really a cool life if you think about it. She's so cool.
She is.
When she came in, and she came in late. We started with Phoenix, and then Angela came in a little later. And she sat down, and she's like, let me get him out. And she like starts like rearranging. And obviously I've seen Angela White's tits before. I've watched her videos.
Different in the wild though.
I've seen, and I sat here, and I'm not even telling you this for the first time, where I was just like, I didn't think they were. I was like, those are breasts.
Those are mammary
Never in my
breasts.
life have I looked at someone's chest and been like, that's a pair of breasts right there. Angela White's got breasts.
That's a woman with breasts, dude.
I love
All
when
these other
you
girls
said
got
that out
tits.
loud.
That woman has breasts.
Dude, tits are like a handful. Angela's got a fucking acre of breasts.
Yeah, that's like what we say. I'm like, you know, that guy's got a cock. I've got a penis. That guy's got a cock on him. Yeah. These guys did a skit the other day on their show Out of Order where they did red zone NFL football for porn.
Oh, that's great.
Cum shots everywhere.
That's funny. You guys like news reporters?
It was, we were doing, it was, but a lot of it was like a double entendre on like football words.
Yeah.
So like, it was like, let's go over to the Redskins, and they're like, you can't say that anymore. It's like, no, 2 words. And it would just go to like this blurred
Redskins.
video of this guy getting spanked.
Second half.
But that one was a fun one.
Are you still doing much skit
I slowed down a little bit just for the special. Like the special really took over the last like 6 months of my life. But I mean, I've been starting to shoot a bunch and bank up stuff and really push that through. But like honestly, this special like just came out, so I want to start getting back into work and shooting sketches. But everybody around me is like, dude, fucking take a second.
Yeah.
for real.
Take a second. And I gotta live a little bit more just to write some more shit that's like, you know, I can dig through all the ideas, but I want some like fresh. I want to like get that new creative wave when I'm just like bored and I'm thinking about shit.
I feel like if I dropped a special, I would chill for a minute.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
would give myself.
I'm
some
like very
serious
hybrid, where it's
time.
like if I give myself too much time off, I get like antsy, and I get like I got to do something. But also it's like if you don't give yourself time to like catch up and relax a little, you're just gonna burn out.
What would you do? Well, like, all right, what are you gonna do if you're chilling? Like, if you're not working, let's say you're gonna take a month off. Say that.
Dude,
A week off, whatever your
Yeah,
number is. Like, what would you do?
fuck, that's a great question. I would try to go somewhere with like a group of friends because I couldn't do anything
Travel.
by myself, or else I would just like
Yeah,
be on my
that's
phone.
my thing. Every time I am gonna like take some time off, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I can just make this video real quick, you know.
Exactly.
But it's like that takes
Yeah, if I want to
time.
relax,
Your brain
like,
is work. You know what I mean? It's like I need.
if you want to relax for 5 days, you got to give yourself like 2 days up front before that.
Yeah,
to like
to-
really
yeah.
disconnect. 'Cause those
Right,
first 2
right,
days, you're
right.
still kind of in it.
Right.
You're getting texts still, and it's like, oh,
Yes.
do you see what's happening? Do you see what World Star just posted? And you're like, oh fuck, all right.
watch. Yeah.
The new Waffle House fight. You gotta like. So yeah,
and
it
then
takes a minute
like
to-
you're like I got to get back to work.
Yeah.
So the final 2 days, You're worried about that. So it's like one day.
I
out of
will
the
say
5.
though, like when I am well rested, I'm writing so
Way
much
better.
easier, and it's
You can
just
tell?
yeah, because I feel like when I'm tired, I'll get an idea, but it's a very one note thing. I'm like, people who drink power water, and then I think of like one line, and then I'm like, that's all I got.
Yeah.
But like if I'm rested, I can just sit there and just go
Back and forth.
Venn diagram on this bitch.
It's
So.
important.
Well, I noticed it since we started the daily radio show, where it's like, when you hit a wall, it's like I just can't do it anymore, man.
Yeah.
Like I can't think, I can't listen, and like this is just like here's a podcast of guys discovering what tired is, but like it's mental. So it's like I feel like I just can't give it to you right now.
Yeah.
I have nothing like you're saying. Like I got one line and that's it. I don't know how. Like I was watching The Firm with Tom Cruise the other day, and I don't know how it works in other jobs, but like it was like when it was like he comes home, started a new job at a law firm, and he's coming home at like 4 a.m. And I'm like, I don't know, like how do you do? Because you're not you can't be working. You have to be exhausted.
Yeah. To me, that's the biggest difference. Like there are times I wish I was just working like a manual labor job where it's just like just turn the brain off, do this one thing, and don't have to worry about anything else.
You guys got so many minutes on air. You think you could AI an episode or two? No.
We
know what?
had something recently where we had a coworker come in and like we knew it was a lie. Like it was a bit he was doing a bit,
yeah.
And he's like, just pretend we're on the podcast. And we started doing it, and it was so earnest where I was like, yeah, this is just like autoplay. Whereas
Yeah.
like
Like,
he
if it-
pretended he got in a fight and we were interviewing him about the fight.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was like, yeah, this is just a podcast.
Yeah,
And we
like,
just
we were,
know
we were
what-
questioning
we know
about
what we're
the
saying
fight,
isn't
and he
real.
was reacting to the fight, and I was like, yeah, this is not real, but it's so easy to do. That freaked me out. I was
Yeah.
like, this is weird. 'Cause now it's just like we're part of like the simulation or something like that. Like I can talk about anything.
Yeah, we did something which was pretty fun. We were all feeling pretty burnt out, and we're like, let's go take like a trip, just like a boys trip. And we went to Amsterdam and Ibiza. Ibiza.
Like your
the
podcast
four of us.
squad?
Yeah.
Like,
Me, Michael,
yeah.
and our two editor and producers.
Yeah.
And we just switched the setting, and it gave us so
Yeah.
much more shit to talk about.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like fortunate enough that we can do that. It's like not an easy like let's just go to fucking Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
But I think switching up. I know it's hard when you guys have a dedicated set and crew and everything, but it's like you switch it up. You can do like a rooftop pod. We love doing pods in like hotels, like when we're always on the road and like traveling together. It's like
Yeah.
dude,
Those are
hotel
always
pod.
fun. Yeah.
Throw it up in the bathtub, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Those like
yeah, yeah.
anything like that always helps like spark something new.
I
But
know.
man, sometimes we both show up and like, I got nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. What's on the news? Even the news got nothing. You know, pigeons are walking slightly slower than 20. What are we talking about? Can somebody fuck somebody? That's the only good part. Is if we're feeling slow, is like both of us are single right now, so it's like I got nothing. I
man,
got
you guys
nothing.
would
Cool.
fucking-
Yeah.
That's got to be a show right there.
So yeah, some weeks I got nothing, and he's like, dude, I did a fucking threesome and this and
Yeah,
that, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like just sitting there just cucking myself, like, oh, what was it like? How was it? Did everybody finish on time?
That is like, that's one thing where you know once like the stories from my life are never gonna be that good probably ever again.
Think?
You know, I mean, my stories are like my kid did something stupid.
Ah.
Which has his own little laugh. you
Yeah,
know,
but
it's
I would
not-
imagine the
yeah.
audience is growing with you.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
and if you were
that
still
is true.
talking-
But it's like we're all getting lame together.
Yeah, but fights you fucking no.
Fights is his famous thing is he doesn't have sex
Good.
because he's not depressed, right?
Yeah, I
you only
think-
have sex when he's depressed.
Not sex. Sex is too specific. It's coming.
All right, he doesn't
Walk me
come.
through this.
Yeah, it's
not
crazy.
the cum, but what's
It's
happening?
It's
crazy.
just it's an exaggeration, of course. But like when I'm in a good mood and in a good place, I'm just coming a lot less. I'm not like laying in bed depressed, and then when you're in bed, it's a pretty short leap to like, let's just grab my phone and jerk off. And it is,
Yeah.
it's,
Short
and,
leap,
and,
just
and I
grab
think, I
that
think
thing.
like jerking off in general is like you're trying to get that dopamine hit like a lot of
Okay.
times. So like I just do it less.
So
And,
you're
like,
happy. You're like, it doesn't even cross my mind because I'm happy. I already have what I would
Yeah,
need.
I like again. It's not never. I'm exaggerating for comedic effect, but like I'll go days where like if I'm depressed, I don't go an hour. I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the first thing I do when I wake
Yeah,
up.
it's always
the last-
hotel rooms. You're just sad and lonely, and they're too cold. The AC's blaring. And you're like, oh, let me just get under the bed sheets. Well, let me guess what's gonna happen at 2 p.m. You do it on
If I'm in
purpose,
bed
man.
under the sheets,
Dude,
I'm coming.
Yeah, I'll put the fucking AC at 82 degrees in that, and it's so cranking cold air.
Dude, I think that's part of getting old a bit. Where like I'm warming up hotel rooms these days. Where it's like I'll start at 68, but I'll wake up at some point before I'm ready to start the day, which I guess is another old thing where like I'll wake up like I do that now. Where like, I'll wake up at like 6:30 a.m. and I'll be like, this isn't the real one, and like I'll piss. Like I'm excited. I'm like I'm going back to bed after this piss, and I'll do that like in a hotel room, and like when I'm up on that one, I'll like crank it up to 72. I'll be, I want to be nice and toasty when I wake up.
That is a mature man right there. I'm so dumb.
Growth.
I just like shiver in the morning in the hotel room because I think I always fuck them up. Once I turn it off, I feel like I can't get it back to what it was, so I just leave it on that same the whole time because I like the consistent air.
Game.
I just like the consistent for sound, especially for sleeping. So I don't want to fuck with it because sometimes you fuck with it and then it's like an on-off thing. You're like, oh,
it's a nightmare.
I ruined the whole ecosystem.
Sweat, you can't hear. Yes,
but then it's like the when there's no noise in a hotel room. Oh God, that's weird.
It's like the murderer.
It's murder. I'm touching myself. It's too many variables. Either I'm getting stabbed or I'm shooting a shot. I can't. Like I gotta have some white noise. So I mean, dude, I feel you in the old sense. I travel with a white noisemaker and my own coffee. But like I make my own coffee.
You bring your own coffee,
dude.
bro?
It's so funny. I'm just on the road so much that I want to like just get as close to my own routine as possible. And I just hated being on the road, waking up and immediately having to go to like a lobby or a Starbucks and start my day there. Because then I'm starting, there's kids screaming. And I'm not saying I'm some like massive celebrity, but there's a good amount of times where I go to Starbucks and do some guys like, yo, fucking Trevor, you have to, dude, this guy, if you're in a small town, this guy's yelling, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I'm like, dude, please.
My coffee.
Please, man.
I have your little coffee cup in your room.
But now it's like I have a coffee and then that gets me like leveled out and then I'll go out into the world and get a...
That makes sense, actually.
That is maturity, my friend.
Yeah, then I'll go out and get a regular breakfast. But I forget how insane it is. And then I'll have like a girl stay with me or like travel with me on like a tour date and she's like, are you making your own coffee? Like, oh, it's fun. And then I try to explain what I just explained to like a 25-year-old chick, and she's like, I don't
care.
Let's
have sex again so I can leave.
Yeah, but like that's room service. Yeah, but you still have to wait for the room. So you're right.
You're right.
Yeah,
you got your own first special and you got your own coffee cup.
Dude, it's just you find your routines, you find your thing. I get it. I get the age. You just find your preferences, and there's nothing wrong with it. You just might look a little insane to some people.
Right.
Good shit, my man.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.